was he on? Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Can you go back a couple frames? Landon, do you recall this moment on the river back in 2022?
Yes.
What is Mr. Miu doing in that portion of the video we just watched?
Looks like he's about to reach over me and stop to grab our tubes.
Are those your legs in the video where we're stopped? And I guess the timestamp is 4 seconds. At the 4 second mark?
Yeah.
Were you sitting next to Jawan?
Yes.
Does Mr. Miu come running up to where you are sitting on the tubes?
Yes.
Does he grab at the area where your legs are?
Yes.
Did he physically touch your legs?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Did Mr. Miu make any kind of contact with anybody on the tubes?
I believe when he was reaching over, he touched me a little bit.
All right. Can you play it? We're going to continue the video from 04.
Whoa! 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 Hey! Whoa! Whoa! Get away! Whoa! Oh, God!
We stopped at 12 second mark. That portion of the video, what do you do when he comes up and grabs onto the area where your legs are?
I was just scared, just got up.
Did you bail out of your tube?
Yeah.
Did you have some concerns about what he was doing when he came up and reached towards you?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes, I was scared.
Did he say anything as he came running up to you?
I don't remember.
All right. Did he give you any kind of explanation for why he was grabbing at your legs?
No.
Did you have any adults with you in your group?
No.
Everybody in your group 17 at the time?
Yes.
After he grabbed onto your tubes, did you see what he did next? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
All right. At some point, did he take several steps away from your group?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you say anything to him as he was interacting with you originally?
I don't necessarily remember.
Can you keep your voice up, please?
I don't remember.
All right. Do you know whether you called him any names?
I mean, I might have said that he was a pedophile or something like that.
Did you swear at him at all?
No.
Did you threaten him?
No.
At some point, did another group on the river come over to see what the heck was going on?
Yes.
Did you know any of those people?
No.
Were they older than you, if you know?
I didn't know, but they appeared to be adults.
And what did you see happen when the adults came over?
They had been saying the same thing we were saying, telling him to leave us alone and go away.
Right, and did you ever see him leave?
No.
At some point, do you recall laughing at him?
Yes.
And why were you laughing at him?
Once more people came, I felt a little bit more comfortable and with the adults being around. So I felt more comfortable.
Did you ever hear Isaac Schuman say anything to Mr. Miu that you recall?
No, not that I recall.
All right. Did you ever see, I'll strike that. When the other group came over to check to see what was going on, do you remember the gender of the folks that came over initially?
Both boys and girls.
All right. At some point, did you see the girls having an argument with Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Do you have a memory of that?
Yes, I remember she was telling him to leave us alone and go away.
All right. Do you recall where you were standing at the time they were having that conversation with him?
I was standing in front of him next to Jawan in the video.
You have an idea of how far away you were?
Probably feet away.
All right. At some point, did you see Mr. Miu react physically to these women that are yelling at him?
Yes.
What did you see him do?
I saw him strike her.
Okay, which one did he strike, if you remember?
She had blonde hair. She was standing right in front of him.
Okay, did you know him at all? Or know her at all?
I did not know.
Did you see which hand he hit her with?
Not necessarily, no. I think it was his right hand.
All right, did you see whether it was a closed fist or a open palm?
I did not.
Did you see whether he had a knife in his hand at the time that happened?
No.
All right. After he punched the blonde woman, what happened next? What did you see happen next?
I saw him get punched after, and then I saw people stabbed.
All right. When Mr. Miu got punched, did he go down in the water?
Yes.
Did you or any of your guys jump on him, hit him, kick him while he was in the water?
No.
How many people did you see actually hit Mr. Miu when he was in the water?
I only saw him get hit when the first initial strike.
All right. At some point, did he get up out of the water?
Yes.
Did you notice at that point if he had a knife in his hand or not?
No.
Eventually, did you realize that there were some people? Did you see some injured people eventually?
Yes.
Do you know how they got injured?
First thing I saw was someone holding their stomach. It's the first thing I saw.
Did that cause you concern?
Yeah, that was very traumatizing.
Did you flee the area?
I was standing there for a while, and then I ended up going further away next to the tubes.
All right. We're going to show you a still frame from the video, Juan's video, and I'm going to ask you some questions about it. All right. This video, do you see two people?
Yes.
One in the foreground, one in the background?
Yeah.
Which one? Is one of them you?
Yes, I'm in the background.
All right. Do you estimate how many feet you are away from the person in the foreground?
Sorry, what?
How far away are you from the person that's in the blue shorts there?
I'd say maybe 10 feet.
All right. We're going to scroll through from, that was 2596. I'd like, or pardon me. Can we scroll? We're going to try to scroll through from 2891, and I'll ask you some questions about those pictures too. We're starting at 2891. You can stop it there. We're at 2926. Landon, do you see Mr. Miu in this frame? Or at least his arm?
Yes.
Do you see if he's holding anything in his hand?
Looks like there could be a knife in his hand there.
Had you moved from your previous position that was shown in 2891 where you were standing?
I don't remember.
All right, do you remember rushing up towards him or doing anything like that?
No.
Did you ever lay a hand on him?
No.
Did he ever lay a hand on you, other than when he grabbed onto your tubes?
I don't believe so, no.
Did you ever get close enough to him where he could have done that?
Yes.
At least in this video, this part of the video, you were, I think by your estimate, about 10 feet away. Is that right?
Yeah.
At some point, did you realize that Isaac had been stabbed?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I believe Jawan screamed out his name, and then I looked and saw.
Were you with Joanne by the tubes later on in the video?
Yes.
You heard Joanne call out?
Yes.
Did you go to where Isaac was?
Eventually, yes.
Did you see that he was wounded?
Yes.
What did you see?
I saw a cut in his chest.
Did you or other folks in your group try to assist him?
Yes. Jawan and Owen. Owen had his hands on the wound, and Alex was holding him up.
All right, did you eventually move him over to the shore?
Yes, that was on the shore when they were doing that.
At some point, did some other folks stop to help you guys?
Yes.
Did they provide care to him, medical care?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to back up here a little bit. Prior to Mr. Miu punching the blonde lady, did you see anybody strike him in any fashion?
No.
Did you see, let me ask you this, did you have a knife that day?
No.
Did you ever see anybody within your group with a knife that day?
No.
Did you see a knife on anybody that was involved in this incident?
No, not until I saw that people were stabbed. I never saw anybody have a knife.
Did you see where Mr. Miu went after he was done stabbing folks?
No.
At some point, was Isaac taken off the river by medical personnel?
Yes.
Did you go with him, follow him?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Was Isaac first taken up to the road near the bridge?
Yes.
Did you speak to any police officers while you were still near the river? Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't remember, no.
Was Isaac taken to the hospital?
Yes.
Did you go to the hospital with him?
Yes.
Do you remember speaking to a police officer at the hospital?
Yes.
Did you tell them what happened?
Yes.
What you saw?
Yes.
Do you still remember the face of the person who did this?
Yes.
You see him here in the courtroom?
Yes.
Can you point him out? See what he's wearing?
Yes.
Can you say what he's wearing?
He's wearing a suit, blue suit with gray pants. And
Nothing further.
Mr. Chirofisi?
So, Mr. Weyer, you are, I want to make sure I got this right. 2 of the 6 of you that were there that day are now college football players. Is that right?
yes.
Okay. Mr. Cockfield plays college football, and so do you?
Yes.
Okay. And what position do you play, sir?
Safety.
Okay. And how big are you?
5'11", 180, 7 pounds.
And you indicated on direct examination that you had been consuming alcohol that day, is that right?
Yes.
And you had been using marijuana?
Yes.
Okay. You were asked by officers questions about your drinking and how much you believe you had to drink. Is that right? Do you remember that?
Yes.
All right. And you were asked that by officers in comparison to what Isaac had been drinking that day. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And you had said that, in your opinion, Isaac was the least drunk person out there, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you believe, in your own mind, that you were more intoxicated than Isaac, right?
I believe that Isaac seemed to be composed. That's why I said that he seemed to.
So to answer my question, do you believe that you were more intoxicated than Isaac?
I don't know.
Do you think you had drank about the same as he drank?
I don't know. I wasn't keeping track.
Okay. Now, you just testified on direct examination that I'm going to talk to you about the first contact you have with Mr. Miu. Okay. That first contact, you testified that he's standing in shallow water, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys are asking him questions?
We were saying something along the lines of, why is he standing in shallow water with snorkels on? What is he doing? Yes.
And your answer was, today, he told us that he was something about little girls, right?
Yes.
Okay. You also never mentioned that to the police, do you?
I do not remember.
You don't remember whether or not you told the police that this gentleman was looking for little girls? You don't have any recollection of whether you told them that?
I believe I said that, but I don't remember.
So you believe under oath today that you did tell someone that?
I object, Your Honor. He says he doesn't remember.
Overruled. Let's clean it up.
I don't remember. I thought I said it to the cop at the hospital.
I'm sorry, I missed that last part, sir.
I thought I said it to the cop at the hospital, but I do not remember.
If I told you what you said to the cop at the hospital wasn't that he was looking for little girls, but rather, I can't even tell you what he was saying.
He said something about little girls, but I couldn't recite exactly what he said.
You'd agree that's not what you tell the police. What you tell the police is, he was saying stuff, I can't tell you what he was saying. Right? That's what you tell the police, though. Right?
That's what it says.
And you here, well, let me ask you this. Mr. Cockfield acknowledged that your group was antagonizing Mr. Miu. Would you agree with
I
that?
object, Your Honor, to use so on other witnesses' testimony.
Sustained. Sustained.
Do you believe your group was antagonizing Mr. Miu?
I believe that we said things to him.
Well, we all know you said things to him. Did you say things to him to antagonize him?
I don't know.
Calling him a raper and a pedophile and a predator. You would say those are things to antagonize someone, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, he's by himself, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this, and you see that he's a little bit older and a little bit out of shape, right?
Yes.
Okay. And your group, you've already said, has at least two future college football players in it. And you're scared at that point?
I was a 17-year-old kid. I was scared.
So the answer is you were scared.
Yes.
Okay. And you were scared of what physically could happen?
Yes, at the time he was much bigger than me.
Okay. And we've heard on the tape that someone says, you've got 10 seconds. Do you recall saying that?
I do not.
Do you recall someone in your group saying,
I do
you've
not.
got 10 seconds?
I do not.
Okay. So I think you told the police that once Mr. Miu comes over, you'd agree he comes over to your tubes, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember that he had a snorkel in his mouth at one point? When he comes over?
I don't know. I just remember he had one.
Okay. And he then walks around your tubes. Is that true?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. Do you remember him leaving your tube, where your tubes were, and walking what would be downstream a little bit? You remember that?
I do not remember that.
Do you remember him turning his back to your group? You remember that?
I remember that.
Do you remember your people in your group approaching Mr. Miu?
I do not.
Can I ask you, what do you remember about that?
About
that particular part of the incident? Do you remember anything about it?
I do.
Okay. So after he walks around your tubes, what do you remember?
I remember that we walked away and then people came to us and then we were standing in front of him and I'm standing by my tubes. We're all standing by our tubes in front of Miu and people were talking to him.
So I want to make sure I understand it. You said you walked away? Or you said he walked away initially?
I was by my tubes.
Okay. So you don't remember him walking away from your tubes?
I do not.
You don't remember him turning his back to you?
I do not. I do not.
You remember the blonde person, the blonde woman come over though, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember Mr. Miu walking over to her? You remember that?
I do not.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the comments that are coming from the defense table. You're obviously getting...
Hold on. Please, gentlemen, it's late in the day. We're tired. I just want to have a clean Q&A. Please keep the side conversations, the table talk to yourself. That's where I'm going to end it.
So, Mr. Wire, I'm going to show you, we're going to start this at 51 seconds, okay? And I'm going to stop it and just see if that maybe does anything in terms of helping you remember anything, okay? So,
who is this? Yes! Yes! For the culture! For the culture! Who is that?
so you see Mr. Miu walking away from your group, moving over toward the blonde person, the woman, right?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, are you still scared?
When more people, adults, start to come, I felt a little bit more secure.
Okay. You agree that when he walks over toward the blonde, you guys can pass on by, right?
Yes.
Don't you want to get away from him?
Yes.
So passing on by would be a way to get away from him, yes?
Yes.
But you don't. Your group stays, right?
We stayed there, yes.
Yeah, and you stay, right, because you see this woman coming over and she's giving it to him, isn't she? She's yelling at him.
She's telling him to leave.
Right, she's telling him to leave, but you agree you just could have left, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I think you said this, you're becoming, as the numbers increase, your fear level is decreasing, right?
Because they were adults and I was a kid, yes.
So the answer is the more people that show up, the less fearful you're becoming.
Yes.
Okay. And would you agree that your confidence is rising as well?
I object, Your Honor, the relevance. I don't understand the question, but...
Sustained.
Your confidence in the situation, in terms of what's going on. You're becoming more confident in your position there, right?
Same objection.
Sustained. Come on up if you have questions.
Oh, I'm okay, Judge. It's all right. Thank you. Do you feel safer with more people around?
I felt safer with the adults around, yes.
Okay. And with the adults around, does your behavior to Mr. Miu change?
Yes.
It becomes more taunting, right?
Becomes less fearful.
Okay, well, do you show signs that you're becoming less fearful?
Yes.
Okay, and you do that by taunting him, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember this? There's a point where your group is kind of around him. You're all pointing at him in his face, calling him a predator, right? You remember that?
I remember that people had called him that, yes.
And that happens after these other people come over, right?
Yes.
Okay, so once you see, and tell me if I'm right, there's about 4 or 5 people initially that come over, right?
I do not remember how many people came over.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you, I need to mark this. Okay. This can I approve?
Yes.
So I just want to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 105, and we can show you, can you tell me, is there a picture next to kind of a diagram there?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And in that picture, can you tell the jury if you recognize, what do you see there?
I see Nicolae. I see Isaac. And I think that's Ryan.
Ryan Nelson?
In those swim shorts, I think that is. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Is it fair to say those are some of the guys that you're, minus Mr. Miu, there's some of the guys that you're with, right?
Yeah, it's tubes as well.
Okay, and you're tubed, there's pictures of your tubes there, some of them?
Yes.
Okay. To the right of that, you would see where it says G1 and then there's a G2. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. And if I tell you that the blue M stands for Mr. Miu, and these initials are the people in your group, okay?
Okay.
Do you think that that is, in this particular picture, a fair estimate of where people are? For example, Mr. Schuman's in front of Mr. Miu. Mr. Nelson is over to the side, like you mentioned. Is that a fair and accurate representation?
It seems roughly correct, yes.
Okay. And so Judge, I guess I would move 105.
Any objection?
Well, I don't objection, Your Honor. I'm looking at it, and
Or what's the objection?
Ryan Nelson's listed twice. It's not accurate.
So the objection is foundation.
Foundation, it's not the evidence.
Mr. Officer, do you want to clean it up with him?
I will, Judge. So, Mr. Weyer, in terms of making sure I have it right, Mr. Nelson was labeled twice. What wasn't labeled on there, if you can take a look at it, we've changed it. You were with a gentleman by the name of Owen Pelican, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he's now written in there. He wasn't written in there before, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, with the change of changing Ryan Nelson twice to now adding Mr. Pelican, does that appear to be a fair and accurate representation?
If LM is me, yes. My last name starts with a W, though.
Understood. They had been getting your name wrong, so. But otherwise, it's a fair and accurate representation. Now,
Objection? Received. What was the number again?
I'm sorry, the exhibit is 105 too.
105?
So, Mr. Weyer, at one point where, and you, I guess I'll ask it to you this way. You hear the blonde, her name is Madison Cohen. She comes over and she's, you describe her as being in Mr. Miu's face, right?
She was standing by him, in front of
Sorry?
him. She was standing in front of his face, yes.
Right. You use the description in his face, yes?
If that's what I said, yes.
Okay. And to you, does in his face mean she's kind of in his personal space?
Just means in his face, face to face.
And during the time that Ms. Cohen's doing this, Mr. Miu's not reacting in any type of violent or aggressive way, right?
He's
yelling at him?
He's standing in front of her, not doing what she's asking him to do.
In a non-violent, aggressive way.
Yes.
And when you guys surround him and start calling him predator and pedophile, what's the purpose of that?
He said something about little girls, so with him being a grown man, he said something about little girls, so that had us feeling like he was a predator.
So you felt like he kind of deserved it, right?
I felt like we were saying that because of what he said.
Okay. Was that captured on video by chance?
I don't believe so.
So, other than your statement today, there's no other recording or written documentation of that happening, right?
No.
And can you bring it up? As you see Madison Cohen and the other woman, Rhyley Martin, as you see them in his face or in front of him, as you described, I'm going to bring up 2611. Tell me if that's you.
Tell us when you're ready.
Ready? Oh. Yeah, sorry, Jim. That's you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this is, if you remember, moments before Madison Cohen, you say you see her punched, right?
This is before I saw her get punched, yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to run you from 2611. And move it forward. But before I do that, I want to ask you this. You look like, that's Juwan Cockfield holding the camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You look like you're looking at him. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you recall, are you guys like looking at each other laughing about just what's happening?
I don't necessarily know what we were laughing about or looking at each other, just looking at each other.
Okay. You're not sure why you're laughing though, right? That's what you just said?
For the specific reason, no.
Okay. All right. You're not, is it fair to say at this point you're not looking at Mr. Miu or Miss Cohen? True?
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Okay. Can you just play? Now, if I told you right there, the group moves forward And there's been information that that's the point where Mr. Miu strikes Miss Cohen. Would that be fair? Would you recognize that as that's the timing?
I don't know. I can't see.
Okay, well, we'll play it a little more. Right, and now you see Mr. Miu going down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe the woman who's in the front here with holding the alcoholic beverage, she's the one that gets hit? Yes? The other person?
I can't remember. I was behind her, so I just knew she had blonde hair.
You were behind her and you were looking at Juwan Cockfield, right?
I was looking at Juwan before he struck her.
Okay. What I want to know is, can you say whether or not that blonde woman in this picture is the person that you saw get struck?
I would think that's her if that's the only girl with blonde hair that was in it talking to him right before.
Well, there's another woman in the picture as well. See her leg there?
Yes.
Tattoo on it?
She had blonde hair as well.
You can't ask me questions, but what I can do is just say whether or not you can pick out which one of those two people was struck.
I can't. I don't know which one it was.
Okay? Do you know how she was struck?
Just remember him striking her. I don't exactly know how.
Which hand?
I don't remember. I believe it was the right.
Okay. And do you know where on her body she was struck?
Her face.
Okay. There's been various demonstrations as to how that happened, meaning what type of punch it was. How would you describe it?
I don't remember. I just remember him striking her.
And I think you said she went down, right?
That's what I thought I remembered seeing, yeah.
That you saw her fall to the ground?
I thought she fell to the ground, yeah.
Okay. And do you think that because that's what you saw?
Yeah.
Okay. You'd agree that blonde girl right there, she's got a drink in her hand, right? You see that?
She has a drink in her hand, yes.
Yeah, you see the cell phone in her swim top? See that?
Yes.
Okay. And she looks like she's yelling, right? Speaking, doing something?
Her mouth is open, yeah.
You're saying that you saw her fall down?
I don't remember exactly which girl it was. It was the girl with blonde hair. I was behind her. So I don't know if that's exactly the...
But what you're certain of is one of them fell.
One of them for sure got striked, and I thought they fell to the ground, yes.
Okay. And then you describe to officers as a bunch of guys came and got on him, right? That's how you use the descriptive, right?
That's what I said, yes.
Okay. So you see him get punched in the face.
I saw him get punched, yeah.
Okay. And then you say a bunch of guys came and got on him, right? What do you mean by that?
I just saw people flock towards him after the woman got striked.
Did you see anything else after that? After he went down?
After he went down, then I started seeing people who were stabbed.
You saw people stabbed after he went down?
After he went down, got up, then I just saw people stabbed.
Did you see him struck while he was on the ground again?
I did not.
Did you see him get struck when he was being pushed in the back?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did it appear to you that he was getting the worst of this? He was getting beat up?
I remember that after he punched somebody came and punched him.
All right, I get that. My question is, when you say a bunch of guys came and got on him, are you saying that you believed he was getting beat up?
I believe that people went towards him after he had already struck somebody.
And were beating him up?
I saw him get punched. I didn't see anything. After that, it was a commotion.
Okay. Now, you said that you were close enough. You got close enough to Mr. Miu that he could have hurt you, right?
Yes, I was standing feet away from him.
Okay, he didn't hurt you, right?
No.
And you didn't touch him at all, did you?
During when he was standing over there, no.
What, at any point, do you put your hands on Mr. Miu?
No, I never touched him.
Right. And so he never touches you, does he?
He touched me earlier on.
I mean, he never touches you in a way that causes you any injuries.
I never got injured, no.
Right. Okay. Sure, I don't have any questions for you. Thank you for your time, sir.
Mr. Smithstead?
Just a couple, Judge. Landon, did you ever call Mr. Miu a raper at any time you had this interaction with him?
I don't remember specifically saying anything, but I do remember hearing things on the video. People.
I want to ask you exactly what you remember yourself saying. Do you remember yourself ever calling him a predator?
No.
Do you remember other folks in your group?
I remember hearing people say it, yes.
Did you ever call him yourself a pedophile?
Sorry, what?
Did you ever yourself call him a pedophile while this was going on?
Not that I remember.
Or other people in your group calling him a pedophile?
I just remember someone calling him something along the lines of that pedophile, yes.
They asked you about the blonde girl falling down. As you sit here today, is that something you remember happening, or is that something you think might have happened?
I remember her getting struck, and I thought she fell to the ground, from what I remember.
Is that your recollection of the event?
Yes.
Mr. Trofsky asked you about your statement to the cops that a bunch of guys got on him. Do you know how many guys got on Mr. Miu after he fell in the river?
No, I just remember as soon as she got punched, several guys, took.
Were any of those guys people from your group?
No.
Nothing else.
Mr. Trofsky? No? All right. Thank you, Mr. Wire. You may step down. Please see the witness coordinator in the back. She'll give you further instructions about where to go. All right, we are just about at 4:30, so we are going to recess for the day. The bailiff will take you out in a moment. My instructions for you tonight are the same as yesterday. Do not begin your deliberations. Do not talk with others about this case. Do not interact with the attorneys, the witnesses, the parties, the members of the public. Do not conduct any independent research about the case. And do not watch or read any media reports, including social media posts about this matter. We will get started tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Please report to the same door that you did this morning. Warren should be there to greet you. Please take the jury out. All right, please be seated. We are outside the presence of the jury. The attorneys are present. Mr. Miu is present. We do have another illustration on the easel. I'd like to get an exhibit sticker on that. That was the drawing that Mr. Anderson created with, I believe it was Mr. Wire. Could be wrong.
I believe that was Dante Carlson.
Was it Mr. Carlson? Okay. In any event, let's get a sticker on it so it's marked. All right, 75, we'll mark it. Mr. Anderson, do you have anything that you want to address before we adjourn?
No, I'll just top the court. I think we're on track for, I think we're moving at a decent pace.
Okay. Mr. Trofficy, anything you want to address? All right, I just ask the attorneys confer tomorrow about tomorrow's witnesses, just so there's no surprises. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.